to improve the agricultural performance. Okay, I will jump to next slide about introduction, why this research has been conducted. Firstly, let's see the agricultural sector still plays vital role in Indonesia. In GDP, almost 14% provided by the sector, and agricultural sectors creates employment for the 33% of total workforce in Indonesia. And another thing is 75% of the poor in rural areas depend on their livelihoods for various activities in agricultural sectors. That's why this sector is so important for Indonesian economic. But can we see that rural areas has high poverty, and most of the poor depends on agricultural sectors. It means that the farm household has limited resources because they're poor, especially in financial resources. That's why the intervention in form of incentive to provide an accelerating effect is so important to encourage their performance. One of the intervention is a credit program. Many literatures say that credit can increase the capitalization of farmers, so they can allocate more resources, especially to adopt better technology and invest more profitably business. And the more things I denote in introduction is previous studies also found evidence that the use of credit has a positive and significant effect. Meanwhile, although credit is significant to encourage agricultural productivity, not all farm households can access or use it. It means that farm household has the different preference and different opportunity to access the credit. That's why the implications for the research is the potential selection bias of the samples in the research, and also very limited studies which evaluated credit impact on Indonesian agricultural productivity. With my research contributions, I'm sorry for my typos. This research examined government program and non-program credit. This is the interesting thing for the research because the previous studies have not examined two kind program, and what the distinctions are the results, the impact, and also for eliminating the selection bias of my research, I use instrumental variable with two sticks least square, and my data use secondary data from the 2013 Indonesian agricultural census, the most recent census in agricultural sector in Indonesia. It conducted 10 years, once in 10 years in Indonesia. We use random selection or random sampling and we drawn 86,000 samples of rice farm household. Why rice? We choose as the main sample because rice is the important product in Indonesia, and from the consuming and the producing, and also in the empirical framework and the first take and second take. First take, I estimate on the determinants, use the instrumental variables, the determinant of the credit, program and non-program. X represent the characteristic of the farm household, socio-demographic, economic, and so on. And the second step, I examine the impact of program and non-program credit on the agricultural productivity. This is the variable definition of the operational variables. You can see that I use amount of farm credit in form of IDR, Indonesian rupiah, or the nominal of credit as a credit variable. And I employ the rice farm productivity to represent the agricultural productivity. And by this result, firstly, I will deliver about descriptive statistics. We can see that the government current budget used by farm household in rice farming is more than the non-government program credits. It shows that the availability of the government program credit is very limited, although the interest of farmer to use government credit is relatively large for the relatively low loan interest. And this in the socio-economic aspect is one that studied by this research. The gender of the rice farm household head is dominated by male, and the average age is around 49 years. This figure shows that the mature men relatively dominated the decision making in farm household. And I also employ the perceptions because the perception is the one of essential indicator to explain the behavior or tradition of farm household in using credit. Farm households state different things related to the risk of farm, and most farmers have the perception that their rice farms are at risk of being affected by disaster or climate anomalies. Meanwhile, only about 30% of the household state that the rice farmer has the risk of being attacked by plant pests. And about perception on profitability, almost 50% or about 47% the sample state that the rice farm would be more profitable in the following seasons. The perception that increased the profitability will provide impetus to farm household to increase capital capacity and potentially use of credit in order to increase profits. And at the first stake, we can see that gender, age, and education level are inherent characteristic in each sample. As the result of the analysis, the male household head statistically has a negative correlation and has a significant impact on the use of non-program credit. This fact shows that farm households headed by men tend not to use or reduce the use of non-program credit. This analysis also shows that male-headed households are negatively correlated with the use of program credit. Moreover, the use of program credit and non-government program credit is significantly influenced by the age of the household head. When the older the age of the household head, the lower the use of the program and non-program credit. These results are in line with the finding of previous study by Nguyen in Vietnam that stated getting older farmer will tend to avoid or reduce the use of credit. Furthermore, the socio-economic aspects are represented by income, class, commercialization, and membership of farm group. In the second stage, we can see that the productivity will increase when the use of program credit is increased. Meanwhile, the productivity of rice farm is not significantly affected by the non-program credit, even though both have a positive correlation. This result is caused by differences in feature of the program and non-program loans. Generally, credit program is specifically for agricultural businesses are accompanied by farm management assistance and supervision. So the program has an expected